Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. Thanks for joining us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Globally, at least 2.2 billion people have a near or distance vision impairment. According to the World Health Organization, out of these, in at least 1 billion, the situation could have been prevented or is yet to be addressed. In Nigeria, almost 25 million people have some form of vision loss, and this could affect their lives and financial status. Women with vision impairments outnumber men by 7%, and essential eye care interventions are up to 6 times lower in low-income countries compared to high-income countries. Leading causes of vision impairment and blindness on a global scale are refractive errors and cataracts. With me in the studio is the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Health District 1, and a consultant ophthalmologist, Dr. Olufunlayo Bankole. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary.
For those of us who don't know,
here.
For those of us who don't know, can you explain briefly what cataracts and refractive errors are?
Okay. Cataract is a condition that is the leading cause of blindness all over the world, not only in Nigeria.
Number one.
Yes. And it is due to opacification of the lens. There's a crystalline lens in the eye that helps to refract the rays of light so that we can form sharp images.
In other words, in layman's language, so that we can see well.
Well, yes, see clearly.
Okay.
But in the condition called cataract, that crystalline lens becomes opaque, does not allow light rays to pass through as it used to do, before the development of the cataract, and then the vision in the eye becomes cloudy. You often hear our patients say that everything looks like there's harmattan.
Okay.
So,
I've actually seen that thing. You can look into the eyes of someone, usually more elderly people.
Yes.
And it's like there's one white thing in the middle of the eye.
You're right. That's when it is fully matured. And you can actually see a white spot right in the center of that black part of the eye. So that is what prevents light from passing through to the back and makes vision, to be lost.
Okay.
It's a gradual thing.
Then what about refractive errors? What are those?
In the case of refractive errors, we have a situation where the eyeball, the dimensions of the eyeball is not as it's supposed to be. Some in children, when the eyeball is still small, before they grow and enlarge according to the normal growth that happens in children, until that eyeball assumes the normal size, the vision in that eye will be blurred, because the same principle of the light rays being converged to a point where you can make clear images is deranged. In some situations, the rays of light get focused in front of the retina, while in others it becomes focused behind the retina. When that happens, you need to converge it more to bring it to focus
and that's
right
what the lenses we wear.
Yes.
That's what they do.
Yes, our glasses.
Okay.
In some instances, the dimensions, like I said, in the eyeball, you may have along the horizontal axis the power of the lens and other structures in the eye that contributes to that focusing of the light rays, maybe like 90 degrees, while along the vertical, it's not exactly 90, it's something else. So you have scattering of the rays, and then the image that is formed.
That's like scattering of the image too. So it's not clear.
Yes, it's blurry.
Are all visual impairments from cataracts and refractive errors, are they all avoidable or correctable? Can they all be seen to and fixed?
Yes, we can do something about them. And very cost-effective measures too. Cataract surgery has been developed, very well all over the world now that it can be done within 30, 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. And
per cataract, per
yes,
eye, that
per
is.
eye, yes. And even in some very proficient settings, you can have cataract done within 20 minutes. Some surgeons are so skilled, they get it out within 15 minutes, and it is safe.
But some people, I think some people are scared that, you know, they will leave the eye clinic or the theater with less vision than they got in.
Well, you know, as a surgeon, you don't pray for complications, but sometimes there may be complications that could result in, you know, the vision not being as clear as the expectation of the patient prior to surgery. And there are lots of reasons that that could happen.
But it should get better if you remove
yes,
that cloudy piece of lens.
It will definitely be better if the only problem in that eye is cataract.
Okay.
But there are other concurrently, you know,
that could occur.
Yes.
All right.
Conditions or situations in the back of the eye, like the example you gave where you could actually see that white spot. At that point, the doctor assessing the patient can't see through, just like the patient can't see through that opacity. So you may not be able to say categorically that, okay, this is the situation at the back of the eye, and that you are so sure that this patient's vision is going to be, you know, crisp post-surgery.
Yes.
So there are lots of things, other conditions, like we talk about glaucoma. Sometimes they coexist in some elderly people. Some might have had trauma to the eye prior to the surgery. Even the cataract might have been secondary to trauma.
Okay.
Yes, in which case there were other damages at the back of the eye apart from the lens.
Okay, maybe we'll come back to that a bit later. But, you know, ophthalmologists, this period of time that you people are celebrating, you're so concerned about access to quality eye care. And I found myself wondering, isn't it quality eye care you give? Is there any other kind of eye care anywhere else that people are getting?
Well, let's say that definition of quality when we are talking about, you know, health matters generally is doing the right thing at the right time for the right patient all the time.
Okay.
Yes. So when we say that we want to improve access to quality eye care service, it's because some of our people, maybe by reason of where they live or because of financial constraints, are not actually able to access these services. And, you know, there are 3 tiers in the structure of our healthcare service. We have the primary level, the secondary, and the tertiary. So at the primary level, that's where most of the people live. But you find out that in a number of situations where they live, they may not be able to access eye care service because they do not have a facility at those levels or in those areas. There are some places we call hard to reach, yes, or difficult to access, you know, places. So maybe road issues, apart from, like I mentioned, financial issues. And also, let's talk about human resource. All this must be in place for us to be able to provide quality eye care service. The infrastructure.
Now, at the primary healthcare level, are they equipped to at least identify, you know, an eye problem which can be referred to a place that can handle it?
Yes. We, as far back as 2008, at least in Lagos State, we had that in place. And we trained staff at the PhD level some were nurses, some were community extension workers, to be able to identify visual acuity. That's the way we measure vision in patients. That is less than 6/12.
Okay, that's how well a person can see.
Yes, for normal is 6/6. That is, if you place the size, a particular size that we use in our measurement, 6 meters away, normal eye should be able to see it.
Okay.
So for those who cannot see such things that normal eyes would see at 12 meters away, maybe they would see it when it comes as close as 6. So those people who have visual acuity 6/12 and worse, they were able to identify them. We gave them kits to measure visual acuity, identify these people, and also they were trained, to find people who have been traumatized, quickly give first aid, and refer them. They were also taught how to detect people who have refractive errors, like you were saying, because when you measure the visual acuity, there's something we call a pinhole. They also use it to repeat that visual acuity. Once you have improvement in that acuity measurement, it means that, okay, there's some level of refractive error here that can be corrected and the vision would improve. So, 2008 till now, that's, quite some number.
It's quite a while, yes.
Yes, and some of them have retired from service. Some of them have been transferred. Some of them have been elevated, and they've moved on. So at that level now, we need to beef up more on human resource and also infrastructure that is available for us to be able to, improve eye care service at that level. And the government is doing a lot of that in Lagos State and some other states also in Nigeria, where some of my colleagues are working with the government, to ensure that we train people and give them the basic tools.
These people are not necessarily doctors, right?
No. It would not be an efficient system to use doctors for that. This is about using the appropriate technology and appropriate human resource for each level of care that we need to put in place. So just to check visual acuity, an ophthalmic nurse can do that, a trained nurse can do that, community extension worker can do that effectively and efficiently. So,
okay, let me just pause you there. We're going on a short break.
Okay.
When we come back, some more on eye care. Welcome back. We're talking about access to eye care here on Health Matters on Channels Television. And with me is Dr. Olufunlayo Bankole. Number to call, if you have questions on eye care problems, 0808-054-2233. You can also, we don't call it tweet anymore, but get me on X, at CTV_MaryX, and you can also email at moalale@channelstv.com. moalale@channelstv.com. Sorry, they should be showing on your screen now while we go to some more of this discussion. Why is there this drive now for people to donate eye parts, and what eye parts can be donated for use in another person?
Okay. The theme for our conference this year, improving access to quality eye care, one of the sub-themes is corneal banking.
Corneal banking.
Yes, the cornea, that is the transparent part that is covering that central black area.
Which many people don't know they have. That there's this sort of glass in front of the whole eye.
It's like clear glass. Yes, clear glass. So we see through it. And under certain situations of infection and trauma, sometimes people get that clear part of the eyeball traumatized, and when it heals, just like any other part of the body, it would heal with a scar.
In fact, just like the front of your phone. If it hits the ground and, you know,
and the glass gets shattered,
we're always looking for a new front immediately.
So such an individual would not be able to see until that opaque cornea is replaced. And
but that's a different kind of blindness now. Let's quickly take Mohammed's
corneal blindness.
Corneal blindness. Let's take Mohammed's call. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello,
What's
good
your
afternoon.
Question? Good afternoon.
Yeah, I recently did I had a cataract, and I did lenses were implanted in my eyes, and I can now see without glasses. How safe are those lenses, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. He's saying a lens was implanted. Yes. He didn't say removed. Can you explain that and how effective is that?
Okay, so...
How safe, rather?
It is very safe. During the cataract surgery, I told you the lens is opaque.
Yes, that's right.
But that lens, there are still parts to it. The capsule. Inside that capsule, we have the nucleus.
Okay.
And we have soft lens matter surrounding the nucleus. So what we do during the surgery is to create an opening in the anterior capsule, bring out the nucleus and also the soft lens matter. So we have left a capsular bag, inside which we put that implant, the lens implant.
Okay.
And the lens implant is made of PMMA material, which is inert. It does not react.
Oh, good.
Yes. With the tissues.
So it's safe.
Very safe.
Let's take...
And it's just going to be there for the rest. Okay.
So sorry. A caller from Adamawa. John from Adamawa. What's your question, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the program ongoing. I realize over time that the issue of eye blindness has been a serious issue and has been befalling quite numbers of our youth across the different parts of this country. Now, my question goes to the presenter and the co-presenter there. Has there been a body that has an organized formation to reach out to most of our people across the rural zone who does not really have access to most of this electronic medium, so they can be able to understand how most of them can possibly avoid?
Okay, so you were screeching a bit there. Perhaps your TV is on. You need to put it off. But I think we've got the gist of the question. He's talking about access in rural areas. How do they get to see these things? How do they get to know about, what they can do to help their eyes?
We do have screening programs, outreaches to the rural areas in different parts of the country. Like I mentioned, my colleagues, during this particular conference, we usually have a pre-conference aspect of the program where wherever the conference is taking place, we go to the communities, we screen people and find out what is the cause of their visual impairment. If it is glasses, we give glasses free.
Okay, that's very laudable, but that's just 1 week.
Yes, and we have advocated to many of the state governments, some local governments, who partner with members of our association to, provide these services to the communities. And I'm sure you would remember the popular program in Lagos State, which we call Jigibola, which has been on for decades now. Through that program, we go to different parts of Lagos State, local governments, Oba's palaces, different places in the community, really taking eye care service
down to the
grassroots.
Let's quickly take this call from Jam from Nasarawa. Hello, are you there? What's your question? Apparently, we've lost Jam from Nasarawa. So tell us, this corneal transplant, do we have him?
Yes. Hello?
Okay. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Apparently, he cannot hear us. This corneal transplant that we're talking about, are we talking about while the person is alive or?
No.
Okay, so the person must have gone.
Yes.
So it's kind of like writing a will or something?
You have a situation where this corneal banking and corneal donation would have been advocated to people, and then they think about it and the advantages of doing this before they take that decision. And that decision usually is taken when you're still alive.
Okay.
There's a card we have in the Eye Institute in Lassuth. We have the eye bank there, at least for now. There we have cards, we have people who will talk to you, counsel with you, let you see what the advantages are, and then if you decide to do something about it, you pick up.
You fill out the card.
Yes, you fill out the card.
Now, I know that, in other clients, the way this works is the person has indicated on their driver's license what can be taken from their body after they're gone.
Yeah.
But with the kind of logistics we have in Nigeria, transport and, storage, what needs to go into keeping that cornea fresh until the time it be used? And then when you do use it, do you have problems of rejection, like normal organ donations?
Okay. For cornea, we usually take it out as soon as possible because you've already had a situation where the donor has filled the card and stated that, okay, you can have this cornea when I'm gone. Some of the people who give out their cornea have maybe chronic medical conditions, maybe terminal illness, but
this is going to take a lot of time.
But their corneas are good.
Okay, we're out of time, so we have to close the show. But we have to continue this conversation another time because it's a really new concept. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Dr. Olufunlayo Bankole. And thank you for your calls, Mohammed, John, and Jam. Thanks everybody else for watching the show from your home and everywhere else. Have a wonderful day. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.